been a long time since I actually did a video about the Galaxy S2. Well, hey guys, it's been a long time since I did a video about the Galaxy S2, and the reason why was, if you guys follow me on Google Plus and all that, I bought the Desire 601, and I bought that phone because the power button on the Galaxy S2 went out, and this is a known problem with Samsung, and so I waited a long time to do this video just because I wanted to get familiar with a lot of different things you could do as a workaround in case you don't want to go off and spend money. You don't. Maybe you just want to hang on to the phone a little bit longer until something better comes out. I'm going to show you guys two different workarounds that will kind of help you use your phone and keep it operational with the loss of the power button. And I'll explain for all you hackers out there how you can maneuver through different ROMs without having the power button to play. So the first option is going with CyanogenMod, and a couple of ROMs that I do know that have this key feature for the volume rocker wake is Moki, which is 4.4.2 KitKat. That one has it. It has two options there. So you can use a volume rocker to wake, and you can set where at the top, if you tap the notification dock, it will turn your screen off and volume rocker to wake. So that pretty much helps. If you like using AOSPs, that's probably going to be your best bet. And you know, to get into recovery and things like that, you're going to want to download Quick Boot from the Google Play Store, and that will allow you to boot into recovery, reboot the phone, or just power it off. The power off section for Quick Boot is not really worth it, because once the power button fails on the Galaxy S2, even if you power off the phone because there's a battery in there with charge, it's automatically going to turn it on, because that's a fail-safe for when the power button goes on. Anytime you slip a fresh charged battery into the device, it's going to boot up automatically. So, and if you don't have Quick Boot, or you didn't download it and you're trying to get into the recovery, easiest way is to pop the battery out, put the battery back in, and hold the volume up button. So I'm going to show you guys that right now. So I'm going to pull the battery out. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to hold the volume up button. That gets you into recovery. Just hold it down and then slip the battery back in. As you can see, it's already going to start powering up. Well, when it does that, you can see the Galaxy S2 logos go blinking in, and then the Galaxy S2 logo is going to pop back up, and from here it's going to boot into recovery. So that's how you get into Clockwork Mod recovery. Now, to navigate through Clockwork Mod, it's the same as it was before. Nothing has really changed about it. You're going to use your volume rockers to toggle up or down. But of course, the power button was what you selected. So if you wanted to go into install zip, you press the power button to get you into that mode. But what's changed now is, since the power button is gone, you're going to use this search button. So let me back out. Actually, let me hit it right now. But like, say you want to go to, let's say you just want to wipe cache. Okay. So you hit the search button, and it's going to ask you yes or no. Hit the search button again, and there it goes. So your search button is going to become basically what you would use on an AOSP ROM to select when you're in Clockwork Mod recovery. Of course, if you're using a recovery like Twerp, then you're not really going to worry so much about the power button, because Twerp recovery, it's an all-touch recovery, so you're going to use, touch the screen for commands. That's for AOSP ROMs, and the ones that I do know that's currently working right now, and if you want to stay up to date with KitKat, it's going to be Moki or CyanogenMod. I did not see it in Liquid Smooth, but I do know that it's there from several people who's told me that they've had that option there. Now comes the downside to it, and this is what sucks about it. That volume rocker will wake the screen. Double tapping on the right where the notification status, the status bar is, will put the phone to sleep. Problem is that when the phone falls into a deep sleep, which is what I'm letting it do right now, and I'm going to show you guys, it's really tough because once it falls into a deep sleep, it is hard for it to wake up. Using the volume buttons is not going to wake the screen. The only way, or the only option you have to wake your phone is if you're at home, you have a charger lying around, you gotta plug that charger in just to get it out of deep sleep and wake the phone. So it kind of sucks if you're like, you know, you're gonna put your phone in your pocket, you leave your house, you go somewhere, you're gonna have to wait for like a text message or a phone call to wake the screen. Unless you got a car charger with you and you're in your car, you plug it in and light it up. But if you're like walking around, say at a store and stuff like that, you're pretty much SOL unless you get a text message, notification, or phone call. Other than that, once it's in deep sleep mode, there's not really any way to get it. And nope. Well, I'll show you guys. I'm gonna let it sleep for at least 10 minutes. There is a method for TouchWiz ROMs. And I'm going to show you guys that right now. I'm going to pop my phone out of my monkey case. And this method, to me, works a little bit better if you're on like any of the TouchWiz ROMs or anything like that. You could use this for AOSP ROMs too, so I would prefer this method over using the stock method in settings with the volume rocker awake and all that stuff. What this does is it uses your proximity sensor to determine whether to turn the screen on or off. And all you're really going to do is where you have your proximity light, you're just going to cover it and let go, and bam, your screen is on. So, and then if you want to make the screen sleep, you're going to cover that proximity sensor, let go. Now, the point to this being is that your proximity sensor is always on. As you guys can see through the camera, there's a light that's shining right there. That's not a notification light, that's a proximity sensor. And that's going to stay on, registering if indeed something crosses it or whatever. So, you know, you put it down on the table, and I did this earlier. What is this for? Yeah. It wakes the screen, so. By the hands right here. So I mean, having it on a table in your pocket is going to be a problem because the proximity sensor is made to register where when you're on a phone call and you put the phone to your ear, it's going to register the phone is near something, it's going to shut the screen off. Essentially using the proximity sensor as a wake and sleep virtual button, I guess you would call it. Anything that goes in view of the proximity sensor is going to have the phone react. So that is the downside to it. But if you're a person who carries their phone outside of their pocket, you're constantly holding your phone in your hand, and that's not going to be a big deal for you, because then you can control whether your phone sleeps or wakes. It doesn't matter how long you leave the phone down. That's the best part. Even if it falls into deep sleep, you can still wake the phone. So that is the better option right there, and it works both on TouchWiz ROMs and AOSP, but this would be the better option. Of course, using Quick Boot to boot into recovery and stuff like that, you know, goes hand in hand with this. So now with this one, with the Agates recovery, it's going to be different than Clockwork Mod. As I showed earlier, Clockwork Mod, you navigate with your volume rocker and you select with the search button. But in Agates recovery, which is the recovery for TouchWiz ROMs out there, you're going to use the home button as your selection. So since you don't have use of the power button, the home button is what you're going to press to choose. And of course, the home button and the search button is capacitive, but it still registers touch when you're in recovery, and that's what you would use to choose to flash in and out of ROMs. So with that being said, those were 2 demos basically of how to use your Galaxy S2 Epic 4G Touch either on Sprint, Virgin Mobile. That's basically it. And this also works with T-Mobile and various other versions. So if the power button goes out on your device, that's something that you're going to want to use. CyanogenMod did a great job, you know, giving you that ability to use the volume rocker as a wake button. But like I said, in deep sleep mode, and You know, I'm such a dunce. I know the reason why this thing is kicking on, and that's because I have the gravity. Yeah, the gravity screen. That's another one too. I'm not really gonna review it because doesn't work too well. I mean, it works. The gravity screen works, but to a certain point. And I put this on this phone because when it falls into deep sleep, it's hard to wake it. So besides using the volume rocker, gravity screen basically is just as it is. If your phone's laying flat on the table and it's asleep, if you pick it up and it turns at a certain angle, it registers that it's been lifted so that it wakes the screen, and that's why it won't actually deep sleep. However, it's a pain in the butt because even if you put it on the table and like the screen turns off, if you shake the table, the screen will wake. So any movement, it will wake. So gravity screen is not something I'm going to recommend you guys use unless you guys want to try it out. But it's not something I would definitely use. The proximity sensor one I would definitely use. It's called Screen Off Lite. And I'll put the link, the Google Play link in the description of this video so you guys can pretty much get to the app and download it. And hopefully this helps you guys out with any issues you guys have with the broken power button. So I'm going to end this vlog right now, and hopefully this helps you guys out. Those of you who still have the Galaxy S2 and are experiencing power button issue or power button failure, this will kind of help you out until you can get yourself a new device, or even take it like to your local shop at the mall, who then they can repair the power button. So anyways, guys, that's it for this video. If you guys found this video informative, go ahead and hit that like button for me. If you have not yet subscribed, subscribe helps me out. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. It's pretty awesome. And I'll see you guys with another video some other time. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great weekend.